Welcome to Cbnext Live. I'm Franklin Katunda, your host tonight. We have a special edition of the next news review. We'll be talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo presidential election. It is in a few days, in less than a week, November 28th, 2011. There will be about 11 candidates to face off for the presidential elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So tonight we have guests in the studio, and I would like to welcome Papi Tomono, who is a resident of Dallas, Texas. He's independent. He will be weighing in to talk and do some analysis about what is happening as far as the elections is concerned. And I have on my right Guy Mundela, who is also from Dallas, Texas, and he is the General Secretary of the UDPS chapter of Dallas-Fort Worth. And of course, he is backing Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi, the challenger. And on the phone, we will have three guests. The first one will be Mr. Marco Kashama of Dallas-Fort Worth. He's an independent. He will be weighing in to also do a news analysis about the elections. I'll be calling in Abraham Luakabonga, who represents Apareco. He will be calling in from Washington, D.C. He is the president of United States Apareco Alliance. And finally, I will have a caller who is he will be anonymous caller from Connecticut, and he will be also weighing in on tonight's show. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Cbnext Live, and thank you for being with us. We begin with a few talking points we have about the incumbent president, which is President Joseph Kabila. He's been launching some series of campaign trips around the country, and recently we've seen him in Goma, in Kivu, in the province of Kivu. News reports detail how the sitting president, he's been actually the man of the billboards. And every other billboard in every city has been taken, from public stadiums to high-rise building facades. You see the face of Mr. Rais, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Some people went on and criticized him for using public buildings to do political campaign, which the PPRD rebutted as a statement. The front runner and the main challenger of this big contest is Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi, like we said it earlier. But he's been caught up in the middle of a controversy where the international community, including the United Nations, the African Union, the European Union, the United States, and so many other representatives of embassies in Kinshasa condemned what they call incitement to violence when he said, quote, that he will have his people, his backers, to go out there and break jails and free all the opponents that have been imprisoned. So that is been a controversy that was fueled out there. So that's why we're going to come back in the studio and ask the first question to one of my guests. I'm going to begin with Mr. Guy Mundela. We know that Etienne Tshisekedi was giving that message because the protesters who went out there at the commission, the Electoral Commission, didn't get what they were looking for. And therefore, some of them being imprisoned because they start getting really tensed and a little bit violent. So they've been put in prison. And now the UDPS is calling for them to be released. What's your take on that?
First of all, I would like to say thank you to you, Mr. Franklin, for having us.
My pleasure.
And about everything that's been taken to my leader, which is Dr. Etienne Tshisekedi,
yes,
I would say that it has been taken out of context and trying to just portray him as someone who is inciting people to violence, which is totally wrong. Mr. Tshisekedi, what is asking to the people is to mobilize, and it's still going through the Constitution, because in our own Constitution, it is asked to people that they can mobilize in order to defend and protect their right, which has been happening in Congo since Mobutu, Kabila the father, and now Kabila Joseph, which is normally called, his known name is Kanambe, is that people has been killed, jailed for no reason, without any reading right for these people that have been arrested. And this cannot keep on going on. So it has to stop. People, if you break the law, you have to be read you are right, and then they'll put you to jail, waiting for a trial. And then after the trial, either you're guilty or they'll release you. But nothing has been happening in Congo. So to me, Mr. Tshisekedi is right to ask people to mobilize, because that is the only weapon that people has to protect their rights.
Before we go more on the violence subject, free and fair elections. Can we say that we have free and fair elections in Congo? I'm going to take a call from our friends who are calling in. The first one, I'm going to begin with Brother Marco, calling from Dallas. Do you think, do we have in Congo free and fair elections?
Well, thank you for the opportunity that you're giving me to talk today. This question, are we going to have free and fair elections? I would have to say it's up to the people, as citizens of Congo first, to ensure that the process is free and fair. Because every man in their own being has a bias, and we know that the head of the CNI electoral commission is very close to the president. So it's up for the parties, the political parties, and for the citizens to monitor the election. Every party, everybody has the right to have a monitor in all the voting offices. So we need to organize ourselves. We should be organized and have people who monitor the vote. To my understanding, once the ballot has been casted and the electoral office closes, that's where the count is done. So all the monitors will be able to see who comes in, who comes out. Once the person votes, he puts ink on his fingers, and everybody will have the right to count the vote on each electoral office. And at the end, the results are posted outside the office. So it's up to the people to monitor every little step of the process and to take ownership of the process. So up to us Congolese to organize ourselves and do it.
Okay.
So that's the only way we can assure free and fair election. If we let the organizers just do it and not look over them, then they will do whatever they want.
Well, but the international organizations can argue that we have observers already who are working into watching the elections. Do you agree that they're doing a good job as far as recruiting folks from the European Union and then those from United States who will be observers at those elections? Do you think they needed more than just those observers?
I mean, I'm not in a position where I can say if they're doing a good job or not, but it's not their role. They're outsiders. We, as Congolese, we often call the international community as the one that has created the issue, but now we want them to oversee our election. No, we need to take responsibility and ownership of the process. I think the European Union said 160 observers. That's not enough. There's 63,000 offices where the vote's going to take place. Those 160 people are going to be in the main cities, and they're just going to, look what they can look. But we have to have an observer, at least an observer in every polling station, every one of them. That's how we can ensure ourselves that we can have the process that's free and fair. It's very positive that the Catholic Church has taken a step and is planning to have 30,000 monitors. So that's a positive step. But the political parties have to join forces and make sure they have representative in every polling station.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to take also a call from our caller from Connecticut. He asked to be anonymous on this call. Let me ask you a question, caller from Connecticut. Do you believe that we're going to have free and fair elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo coming 20th of November?
Well, right now, first of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to answer this question about if we're going to have free and fair elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I personally think that right now it doesn't look like it's free because we're almost 7 days away from the actual election day, and there's a lot of parameters that are still not in place, a lot of questions that haven't been answered, and just recently you hear rumors that I can't really confirm, but you can see that something happened from South Africa where some of the ballots were already casted for Kabila. So those are the things that are very concerning to me, and I can't say that I'm really happy there's elections. That's a good step towards. That's a good step for democracy in a country that's just doing the opposite of what every democratic country should be doing. But I don't think that there's fair and clear elections in Congo yet. I cannot say that.
Thank you very much, caller. Just stand by. And I wanted just to, for the viewers out there, that Cbnext didn't confirm about the news that we had just heard recently, and it's been actually spread out around social media, that there were tons of cards, of electoral cards that came from South Africa, and it was already shipped through an aircraft that is a Zimbabwean aircraft that was supposed to bring them towards the province of Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo to be counted as ballots. So those are news that, again, we did not confirm at Cbnext. Maybe by tomorrow we will have more news from the news outlet on the ground, as far as the Radio Okapi and some other affiliates that they have out there, and some of our people on the ground also will confirm us. So for now, we take that information the way it is, and we move on to that question with my guest here in the studio, Papi Tomono. We have the same question. Do you believe there is fair and free elections in the Congo?
Thank you, Ms. Franklin, for the question. I think we're going to have a free election in Congo. Because we got people back home, we've been on the phone with them. They are free to choose or to vote for anybody they want to. We're going to have a free election in Congo because people are free to choose or to vote for anybody they want to. Fair election? I don't think so. Why? Because I think our democracy is just too young to have a fair election in Congo.
When you say young, it's been 10 years that we've been voting.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
But this is only the second time in our lifetime to vote.
Yes.
So I think it's just too young to have a fair election in Congo. Why? Because the people in power, they're going to try, to manipulate. I heard the brother on the phone just say, So I just think it's just too soon to be talking about fair election in Congo, in particularly in Africa in general.
So are you already prognosticating that we're going to be going to a series of protests right after the 20th of November?
I don't think so.
So what do you think going to happen? Because let me tell you, for the viewers out there, I've been monitoring the situation from the diaspora outside in the United States, in Europe, and everywhere else. Even in Australia, we get a footage that we're going to put out there. You guys are going to see. There's a lot of people protesting and ready for a revolution. That's how they call it.
Yes, sir.
And this movement, they've been calling resistance and combatants, are people that I never seen in my lifetime. I'm talking about people of Congolese nationality.
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen people going out in the streets and protesting the way they did. These people blocked the whole highway in Paris. They disrupted everything that can be in order to really voice up their opinion. That tells me that Tunisia, maybe Egypt, is getting closer. But we're not going to just jump into that subject right now. This is just the first segment of the next news review. We're going to come back for the second segment where we'll talk more about the violence. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay tuned. We'll be right back. Cbnext Live. Welcome back to Cbnext Live. I'm Franklin Katunda with Cbnext Live show called The Next News Review. Today is elections, special elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We're talking about now violence. How do we define violence? Is it just a speech that incites to violence, or is it an act that is actually committed and that is a violence on the population or on a group of people in the country? We have news that came from the VOA interview that they had last Thursday with Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi wa Mulumba, when he said, I'm going to quote here, I did not ask the people to take up the weapons, but I was calling instead them to mobilize. So he called for mobilization. That's what he's saying. And he actually insisted that he said, and he repeated, that he is the president and he's been appointed. He was clear about it. He said he's been appointed by the people, not elected, but appointed by the people. Now, the first question I have, it will be for Abraham from Apareco in Washington, D.C. What's your take on the fact that the international community just went and jumped in and started going after Etienne Tshisekedi about what he said? What do you think wrong? What do you think is wrong with the whole thing?
Thank you, Francis, for having me on your show tonight.
Yes, sir.
What I say first is I want us to go back just a year ago almost. We had the mapping report being released in October 2010 in New York. And in this report, they were saying that almost 6 million people have been killed or dead in the Congo due to the violence. The international community didn't say a word about it. We were there, we wrote a lot of memos, nobody did any word. We had another report that came out early this year, talking about 48 women being raped somehow in the Congo. No one from the international community said nothing about it. We have in the Congo still today people that we have a warrant against them, such as Kundabatware Laurent, Bosco Tangata. All those people, all those folks are in the Congo and nobody wants to take care about them. So we actually, our view, we from America, we keep on saying this. The international community has to take care about the situation in the Congo in the right way. They don't have to play us the way they're playing us, because actually they know that with Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi, we surely should be elected as a president in the Congo. There will be another ball game on the table. So we at America, we define this saying that the Congo is under occupation, and our people is on a daily basis struggling, getting killed without anybody saying a word, getting arrested without anybody, without a good justice system. So to us, this is just another word. They want to threaten us, saying that, okay, we want to go after Mr. Tshisekedi, and even the international, criminal court is behind him, saying a word that they want to arrest him. We know that this is something that we've seen in Ivory Coast, we've seen it in other countries. But what I may say to my fellow Congolese is we have to fight back for our rights.
Yes.
Nobody will give us our rights back. What they call violence, they've been using it. They use it, they've been bombing in Libya. Nobody says a word. They bomb in Ivory Coast. Nobody said a word. How many people Let's talk about Iraq. We can go on and on. While they want to do something, they will do it without any justification. Here is just a candidate who is saying, according to the lack of justice, according to the struggle on a daily basis of people down there, he's asking his fellow citizens to step up and to fight for their rights. There were revolutions in America, in Europe, and everywhere else. So this statement from the international community, to our point of view, such as people from apareco, we're saying no to that. This is kind of another, bad piece of feature they want to play in the Congo. We have to step, we have to fight back until we are going to get our country back. It takes what it takes. They call it violence. We're saying this is revolution. We have to take back our country. And they've been fighting for their rights. They've been fighting for peace in America. Let's look at this, Franklin.
Okay.
5,000 people getting killed in New York. 9/11. How many were killed in Afghanistan? How many in Iraq?
Okay.
How many in Pakistan? So just
right.
5,000. So,
All right.
That kind of game, I want to tell people from UDPS or Congolese, Patriots Congolese, we can listen to those kind of situations. Let's fight back, get our country, and we're going to sit down and talk with those people. That's what I have to say tonight according to the violence on the ground.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the point you made.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, go ahead, caller from
I really
Connecticut.
appreciate what Abraham just said about the violence. I think from now, I'm not saying that there's violence at different levels. The violence that we need to start doing in Congo is a violence that should not be to be killing people or whatever, but it's a violence to put pressure on this oppressive government, because their political system will never respond to any political demand that the opposition will be putting forth towards them.
All right.
So what we need to do is figure out a way to put more pressure on them. Pressure through violence, not even killing anybody, but just to maybe even disobey everything that they're going to do. If the elections are rigged, that way that will mean that we all just go out in the streets and it will just become chaos, and we intensify this violence to root out that guy that's in power over there. We don't even know how he got into that place. So as an independent, I'm just saying it's getting just too much. We are not able to resist. We cannot take this. We cannot just be good boys sitting on the bench in school, just listening to the way, listening and just seeing the way this country is just going underground. It's time to start intensifying our violence.
All right.
It's a giddy talk.
All right.
But now we're going to have to be going into action.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's what I'm going to say. But there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing. We're just going to be intensifying till the fire really starts burning out that government, out of that power.
Okay, and thank you so much, caller from Connecticut. I wanted just to give a little bit of the talking points we got in the news. The UN Agency of Human Rights reported that for a 10-month period beginning November 2010 all the way to now, there was at least 188 cases linked to the electoral process and 188 cases of violations of violence against citizens linked to the electoral process. There is several things that they mentioned. There's a suppression of people's right to free speech, the right for assembly, the right for protest or sit-in, and we saw that lately with the sit-in at the CENI, the Electoral Commission, and then also people who are not being protected by the police, the national police, when they're being attacked. And we saw that with the PPRD when the PPRD headquarters was ransacked, and at the same time when the UDPS headquarters also was set ablaze in Limete. So the question I have for the representative, the General Secretary of UDPS Dallas, is this. We heard Mr. Moreno do Campo from the International Tribunal talking about already prosecuting people who may be found inciting violence in Congo. Do you think it's the right way to go for the tribunal?
For a tribunal, I would say it's just not the right way to go, you know.
Why?
Let me ask you a question. The people who've been killing people, they've been raping people, they've been arresting arbitrary people.
Yes.
Who are, and, excuse me, and the side has been Mr. Tshisekedi, who's asking people to mobilize in order to protect their right. Who's committing the real violence? That's my question to Mr. Ocampo. This is like, he just jumped on too early and too bad on the wrong side. Because in Congo we have Bosco Tangana, who has been, they already issued
a mandate
to arrest him since, I don't know, it's been 3 or 4 years now. He's in Congo, they can arrest him, they can send him to ICC. And now Mr. Tshisekedi is asking to the people to protect their right. They're saying he's inciting people to violence. This is just the hypocrisy of the Mr. Ocampo, who's trying just to put fear on the people who are really fighting for the right of the people who has been so long since their independence, the country of the Congo, especially in this case, who has been so long under these dictatorships, and they're trying to protect these people in order to perpetrate their dictatorship on this. And this, I would say again, Mr. Campo has been wrong, and he's still been wrong, but Mr. Tshisekedi is still right on calling people to mobilize.
That same question to Mr. Papito Mono, who is independent. The UN accuses the elements of the PNC, which is the National Police of Congo. They are also accusing the Congolese National Police and the National Intelligence, the ANR, to be the folks who are targeting the members and the supporters of opposition parties. And I'm going to name those parties: UDPS, UNC with Vital Kamerhe, and DC, which is the Christian Democracy with Mr. Diomi Ndongala. So what's your take on that?
Well, I think violence has no place in democracy.
Well, but it's been there already.
I know that. It can come from the people in the power or from the opposition. Violence has no place in democracy. If you really install democracy in your country, you need to stay away from violence. I don't care which party are you. Udps, PPRD, apareco. Violence has no place in democracy. If you really want your country to be a democratic country, you need to refrain from violence.
Okay, so what do you make of the recent incidents where billboards from Vital Kamerhe have been taken down in some cities like in Goma, and just some of them been burnt down? What do you make of that?
That's wrong. That's like I say, it can come from the people in the power or from the opposition. It's still violence, and it's wrong in democracy. That's my take.
Okay. Now, we're going to go back to the PPRD and try to really get into the details about their national agenda. And this is going to be the third segment of our show, where we're going to ask, why are you supporting such and such candidates? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Franklin Katunda with Cbnext Live. We are watching the next news review. We'll be right back. Welcome to Cbnext Live. I'm Franklin Katunda with the next news review. This is the last part of our fourth and special edition, elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In the next few days, less than 7 days, we will have a face-off between all the 11 candidates that will go for one-term runoff. And it's going to be interesting to see what will take place. But let's go back to the PPRD, the party that is ruling right now. The 5 challenges from the president who promised the people to tackle on the national infrastructure, on the lack of health care, so give people access to health care and education, safe housing for everyone, jobs, and then also utilities, which is electricity and drinkable water. Now, I want everyone here to tell me honestly what they know about those 5 challenges as far as what they've learned on the ground. What do you know about the agenda that the president had 5 years ago? I'm going to begin with the representative of the UDPS Dallas chapter.
Well, I was just saying that, frankly, I don't know anything about it because he has been just a failure.
Did you see some roads being built?
There's not been any road built. There's been road rebuilt,
okay,
which is different. When you're talking about building road, we see here in America what roads are, you know, and you cannot tell me that because you're rebuilding roads and these we don't even know how much they have spent in rebuilding these roads, where the money is coming from. And from some of the information that we get, it's money from the international community that are lending to the country. And they're using this money, I don't know how much, for how many roads they have rebuilt, which is gonna these loans gonna fall out on our next generation.
Okay.
So
they put it in on a credit card.
Exactly. So we don't know, how it has been done and how we're gonna repay. So this is something that I will not spend my time trying to look into. I would rather talk about the plan that my party, especially behind my president, is bringing forward for the country. He's putting the people first. This is a person who has fight the political life for 30 years and has been as constant as he can in putting people first. He's been fighting for the interest of the mass, the entire population, and not just the a group of people who have helped him to be in power, who will help him to be in power. So this is the agenda that I would like to look into it and talk, spend the time talking and reading, see how good it's going to be for the country. So definitely I would just go back and say the agenda for PPRD is just a failure, so I will not spend my time looking into it.
Okay, now I'm gonna go to Dallas Fort Worth with Marco Kashama. What do you have to make of those 5 challenges as far as how they've been executed?
Well, I was in Congo last year, and I'm gonna be honest, some roads have been built, but like Scott said, we don't know the cost of them. We don't know, and one thing that bothers me also is that there's no transfer of technology, no transfer of knowledge toward the Congolese. The Chinese are coming, they're building, they're coming with their manpower, they're executing the work, and then they're leaving. But the same Chinese, when they want to buy a high-speed train from the French, they are not asking just for the French to come and build a high-speed train and leave. They're asking for a transfer of technology. This work on the roads is creating jobs, yes, but really low-paying jobs, no value-added type of jobs, like engineers and that type of occupation. And the road building is probably the only place where something has been done. On the other 5. On the 4.
When we talk about when we talk about the utilities, for example.
Say that again.
Utilities, electricity, and drinkable water.
That's where I was going. The utilities. It's still horrendous. I was in DRC last year, and every day there was a power failure. And you knew at what time it would come. It's 6 o'clock. There was a power failure. Right at the time when you need power to do. And this was neighborhoods in DRC. I was in Lubumbashi and Kinshasa, so it was the same thing. Water, it was horrendous. Schooling still has a lot of issues.
So wait a minute. You said you were in a loop.
It's a matter of priority.
Okay.
I don't think that building the Boulevard Projet was a high priority job.
Okay.
Building the presidential terminal at the Airport in Chile. That was not high priority. The main terminal is raggedy, and you have a presidential terminal that nobody uses, and and that's what we face with governments that are not qualified. They're going to spend money to show that they can do something, but that money is not going to be spent efficiently, and that's a big no. Money has to be spent efficiently because we have very small revenues, and we need to maximize the output from the small revenues we have. So I would say in all that it is a failure. You may get 5 out of 10 for the road building, but overall I think I'll give them 3 out of 10. So it's a failure.
Thank you very much for that input. Ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing with the last segment. After this break, we're going to have just a little commercial and we'll be right back.
A et DRCongo Entreprises vous offre des véhicules 4x4 de confort et de qualité supérieure, un large choix de véhicules. Nous avons les meilleurs stocks de voitures 4x4 d'occasion comme neuves, offerts par les plus grandes marques. V-Cross, Montero Limité, Nissan Moreno, Nissan Pathfinder, Nissan Xterra, Subaru Forester et tant d'autres. Vous trouverez chez nous des prix défiant toute concurrence, des véhicules de plus faible kilométrage, des voitures fournies avec grand entretien et un nettoyage intégral approfondi. A et DRCongo, c'est des offres pour tous les budgets. Contactez-nous au 817 812 48 13 pour un rendez-vous ou visitez-nous au www.aedarco.com.
All right, back from the commercial. We're still here at Cbnext Live. This is the next news review with your host, Franklin Katunda. We're going to close with the last segment of this show. We're talking about diplomacy and cooperation. I'm going to quote one of the elements I got from UDPS, the Union for Democracy and Social Progress Party, led by Etienne Tshisekedi, when he said on page 8 of the national agenda that his government will engage in diplomacy and cooperation with an aggressive diplomacy, measured and credible, and productive bilateral cooperation to genuinely promote and efficiently ensure the development of peoples. Now, he put the peoples in plural. I read that thing and I said it was vague. I don't know. This gentleman here represents the party. What's your take on that? Why is he talking about the peoples? Sound to me like an international community chart. We're talking about defending the interests of the Democratic Republic of Congo. How do we do that with UDPS in power?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Franklin. I will start by saying this. You know, the Congo has been in war with its neighboring country for many, many years. So in order to promote peace in the region, because now the development won't come just with the people of Congo, we have to include all our neighboring people. So we have to get a plan how we're gonna be dealing with our neighboring countries, as well as how we're gonna be conducting business with international investor and other countries who want to come invest in our country. So that's why we're talking about different people. We're talking about definitely we'll be going on the negotiation table with some leverage. We can't just go as the actual government are going begging for money and just signing contract from whoever gives them enough money. So they just going and, you know, without any plan how to to fight for the country or for the people. So just the UDPS has a plan how they're going to be conducting their diplomacy. So that's why we're talking about an aggressive, where we go to the negotiation table with a plan, with some leverage that we're going to be presenting to the people who want to come invest to the country, and also how we're going to be dealing with all the countries that are neighboring the Congo, because in order for Congo to develop, the neighboring country also we have to be on the same page.
So is that what explains what he says by peoples, the development of peoples?
Definitely, because he includes the people from different countries to around us. So it's not just, Congo is a vast country. We have different ethnies and all these tribes, and beside that we also have all these people around us, and all these investors in the country who want to come and sign a contract in Congo. So we have to include all these aspects in order to promote a good development.
But here's the catch.
Not only for the Congo, but for the region.
Yes, here's the catch. Is that including also those who are already operating on the ground, who are from other countries, who are foreigners, but they already have a pied-à-terre in Kivu and they're operating? Is that to say that Tshisekedi is including those people too?
Well, at this point, like Tshisekedi is saying that, and the UDPS is right behind him, we're talking about a state of a rule of law. First of all, this is something that's going to define everyone who's doing business in Congo has to be following the laws in Congo. So those we can just come in and say everybody leave, and now we're gonna do our way. We'll see those who are there and make them follow the law, the rule, that the constitution, the rule that's gonna dictate everyone who's doing business in Congo and how they're gonna conduct themselves to in respecting the laws of Congo.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to give a word to Marco Kashama from Dallas, Texas, as an independent analyst. Can you go ahead and tell us what you think about it?
Well, I followed you a little bit, and I think what we're doing is semantics. When he means people that's a plan for DRC, I think he means the people of DRC. To me, that's clear. The one thing I want to say is this. I've never liked a plan in DRC. We've never liked a good plan. Even Peter and his plan is pretty good, when you read it. It is good. The plan of Mobutu, they were all good.
Yes.
What we've always, I've always failed is in the implementation of the plan.
Yes.
And why we failed in the implementation of the plan? Because we have the wrong people at the head. That's a summary of the problems in Congo. We have a leadership problem. We solved the leadership problem, and with even an average plan, we'll do better than with the best plan with the wrong people. That's my take on it.
Okay. All right. So just to emphasize on that same subject, I'm going to touch a little bit of the defense and the security. And here's another quote from the same national plan. It says this, quote, the UDPS is talking about reorganizing a non-politicized and national army that will include nationals and patriots. Nationals of Congo and patriots. Now, we all know that it's not the reality right now. The Eastern Congo has more people from Rwanda and Uganda than the nationals of Congo. Now, this question is for Mr. Abraham of Apareco. How do you see the UDPS implementing this plan, given that we already have a lot of foreign elements in those militias who've been incorporated in the FARDC in the Eastern Congo?
Thanks, Franklin, because this is, I think, to our opinion in Apareco, one of the core. This is the main issue that UDPS, if they gain the election, is going to be facing. We don't have only issues on the east side of the Congo, but the issues are almost everywhere. If you look at the north side, northeast side, we have issues with Uganda. You go down Angola, the oil issue, even situation in Bandundu. So to me, this is going to be really, really a tough thing to get done, because while we are going to get reorganized, we are going to reorganize our army. What's our neighbors going to be doing? Are they going to wait for us to get organized, to get back and ask for what belongs to us, or are they going to do a move? So, to my opinion, I think this should be a strategic move. We may say they may displace people from all the troops in the east side to another part of the country, and what they call ventilation, and bring another kind of troop in the east side of the Congo. Each one of us, we know that when they tried before, with Kabila's government, it was a failure. So I may say Congo may need, the help of some friendly countries. We may go that way. I'm not talking about the UN, but to secure that big countries without an army, we need, help from somewhere. And I'm not seeing it from UDPS, but this is a serious issue that we have to talk about as a Congolese people. Because once again, this is a plan from UDPS, but let me tell you again, they for them to be able to implement this, they should be able to control the Congress, which is not going to be the case, because UDPS has less. I think is a position that they're number 4. They don't have enough people, trying to get elected. So the struggle is going to be first for them to be able to pass the law or the program into the Congress.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
Mr. Tshisekedi can be elected president. What I wish, but who's going to be the prime minister? Is he going to be from UDPS or from another big party?
Well, he may come from the majority in the parliament.
Large people, seeking to be elected. Number 2, I think, is the Demba's party. Even Kameri is in front of UDPS. So, and this is what we keep on saying at the apareco, one of the mistakes that UDPS made, because they won't have enough people to defend the program into the Congress. So, are they going to be able to negotiate with the other parties to get this done? That's what I want to see effectively. But the way it's going, it's going to be tough, because the president has no right to decide on himself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be decided in the Congress, and the UDPS doesn't have enough people that are willing to get elected. That's one of the mistakes. So I really don't think that this is going to be an easy thing to get done. In the first, let's say, 1 or 2 years, this should be.
Yes.
The government should ask for more help from outside to secure the borders, and then we can, reorganize our army. This is my point of view.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wanted just to wrap up by saying that looking at all the political parties, they all have coherent plans as far as the national defense. I was looking at the agenda for the UDPS, the UNC with Vital Kamerhe. They have good plans to not let anybody occupy at least not even a part of our territory, they said. So they will make sure that they defend the entirety of the territory, the national territory. But the surprising thing is, when I went into the website of UDMO, which is the from President Nzanga Mobutu, I tried to read his. He doesn't even have a coherent plan that is that will secure the country as the whole territory. So those are kind of just the things that I wanted to bring out there, so for our viewers, so they know. You have something to add?
Yeah, can I just wait
very quickly, please?
Very quick. Yeah. Just to say what Brother Abraham just said. Congo is a vast country. It won't be something that will happen the next day that the UDPS take power. Mm-hmm. The president will be Mr. Tshisekedi, but the prime minister will come from the majority. The party that's going to win the majority in the Congress. That's where the prime minister want to come. So that will help him to have his agenda to go forward passing the laws. But definitely, it's a process that's going to happen in order to secure the vast country that we have. So we're going to definitely need the help from other countries like the U.S., the French. They're going to help us to train our military in order to have a strong army and police to be able to secure the country. So I see your concern, and it's something that we're gonna have to work on. Not just the UDPS, but everybody who's gonna be in the Senate to help to pass the good laws in order to have a good army and police to secure our country.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to thank everyone for being really participating on this debate, a forum that we had to talk about not only the candidates, but beyond that, what needs to be done in this devastated country. I am Franklin Katunda from Cbnext Live Studio in Irving, Texas. Thank you for watching.